So in this game that I'm about to show you, you will see the Greek gift sacrifice in perfect execution, and it will just straight up win you a game like this, like it did for me. Let's go over it. We have e4, c5 the Sicilian, and I play my Smith Mora Gambit, and my opponent played knight c6, and just allowed me to take on d4 and get the center. I have 2 pawns in the center, which is very nice. Just a side note that I wanted to mention. Usually when you get the Greek gift sacrifice, you also control the center pretty well. So in this case, I have 2 pawns in the center. We have e6, which is fine. And I played a3 to stop the knight and the bishop from coming to the b4 square. And if queen goes here, maybe I want to play b4, but not right now because there's some sacrifices. Anyway, we have knight f6, just developing the knight. And I played e5, kicking out the knight, and now the knight has to move, and it moved to the center. Knight c3 to challenge the knight. If black takes here, I'm going to get 3 pawns protected like this, which is amazing for me. And they drop back the knight, which is a mistake. I can't exactly tell why it's a mistake, but the computer just says it is. So we have knight f3, just developing the knight. After d5, I decided to take on en passant because I like having open centers and open lines. I don't really like having closed center like this, so bishop takes d6 and bishop d3. And bishop d3 is intentional. Basically, when my opponent castles, I want to be having a Greek gift. And I was very, very much hoping for my opponent to castle here and then fall into the trap. And they did exactly castle, which allowed me to sacrifice the bishop. The engine says it's inaccurate, but there's no way anyone below 2200 will find all the correct moves. Basically, after knight g5 check, queen g6 is king g6 is the best move, and after this, you go here, and then h5, and then the king runs over to e7. No way anyone would find that. But alright. Look at how exactly the Greek gift sacrifice works. You have to have a bishop on this diagonal pointing at the h7 pawn when the king is castled. You have to have a knight on f3, a queen on this diagonal, and a bishop on this diagonal too. That is the requirement or the setup, basically. Sacrifice the bishop on h7 with check. And also note that when you play knight g5 check, there should be no bishop on e7, because then the bishop would be able to take the knight, and then your sacrifice is worthless. So yeah, just as a quick side note, knight g5 check. And the whole idea is if the king moves to g8, you have queen h5, and mate is unstoppable, basically. They can try to move the rook, but then you take on f7. Then you have some moves after that. So the king went to g8. Also, if the king goes to h8, it's guaranteed checkmate. Like, it's even faster because you can just check and then checkmate. I guess the king could also go to h6, but then you just give up the queen, and it's GG basically. So the only real option is to go forward with the king, which is very risky, because then you have h4, trying to hunt down the king. Let's just say the black pieces just ignore that. Yeah, then you have queen g4, And then I think you have some discoveries. You have h5. Let's just make you move like this. Yeah, you win the queen, and it's even mate. So that's pretty bad. Knight g5 check. What my opponent played was king g8. So this is just a clean win for me in a few moves, because after queen h5, now there's no defense basically. You have to give up your queen for the knight. And yeah, that's it basically. You just have to sacrifice your queen, and then you're going to be down a queen. But my opponent did not give up their queen, and instead tried to defend by moving the rook. Well, if you go check on h7, the king runs to f8, and after check, all of a sudden the king is safe. And you can take the pawn on g7, but now what do you do? So that's why you have to see that the f7 pawn is hanging. So queen takes f7, check, the king has to move, and now there's a mate in 4. If you want, you can pause the video and try to see the mate in 4. So if you didn't manage to find it, here are the moves. Queen h5 check, king goes to g8, queen h7 check, and then check, king has to move to e7, and you can take the pawn on g7 with check, and there's no legal squares for the king, and it's checkmate. And there's no way to block the check as well. The game ended in 18 moves. If you found the game interesting, please consider subscribing. It would be helpful to me. Otherwise, this is it for the video.